Got a DB to my right, a DB to my left. I hope they don't get pissed. I hope they don't have flashbacks. If not, I'm screwed.
About to get sandwiched.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? No, but I'm quick though. I'm quick. Took a little break. Now we're back.
Yes.
You were a little under the weather.
I was.
But now you're back.
I feel great now.
Are you on the protocol?
I am. I'm feeling like $1 million.
Okay, COVID ain't got shit on that.
Nah. I didn't catch COVID though.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know, but it's funny because every time anybody's sick, now it's all of a sudden
It's COVID,
COVID.
right?
Oh, they coughed. It's COVID.
The moment you cough, it's COVID.
Yeah.
I
it's
did
crazy.
have a little cough.
Yeah.
I did take a COVID test.
And negative.
Negative.
Yeah.
I had COVID almost a year ago now. I had it bad when I had it.
Yeah. I had it about a year ago too.
Yeah. So I knew it wasn't COVID.
You know what I did? I vaccinated myself.
Did you?
Yeah. Now with Johnson & Johnson, now with Pfizer, now with Moderna. They weren't out yet. with Tony Bosch. No, so swear to God, I took exosomes RNA, injected them, called it a day. And guess what? I still got the antibody. I'm vaccinated. But we shouldn't discuss that here because God forbid Big Pharma hears me. Anyway, so do you remember the movie Rudy?
Yes.
Did you like it? Inspirational movie.
There's
a lot of inspirational football movies.
Right. That was a really good one.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
So we have the pleasure to have the Rudy of the University of Miami. That's right. I mean, he's a Rudy of the University of Miami. Not because of his size.
Right.
Yeah.
Not because of his speed.
All the other tangibles.
But all the other tangibles. And he was outspoken as Rudy. Okay. He was very entertaining as Rudy.
Okay.
I think more so. But anyway, it's great to have you here, Paris.
Thank you, Tony.
Mr. Paris Fealy.
Yes, sir.
In the house with us.
That's right. Thank you for having
me. With Nick and myself. Really appreciate you. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Tony.
Now, besides playing for UM, I'm a Columbus guy, so I always like to go.
Sir.
I want to start. I want to start. A couple years.
Yes, sir.
Prior to you played for Columbus.
I did.
And how was that? That was great.
So it's exciting.
Right.
Growing up in South Florida, obviously football is life down here. I've traveled all over the country, and I think you get arguments from people in Texas or California about how they think their football is superior. There's nowhere like South Florida. We've got the fastest athletes. We have year-long weather that allows us to play spring football and have 7-on-7 competitions, etc. And playing in my own high school. When I was at Columbus, my quarterback was Brian Greasy, who eventually, of course, goes on to Michigan, wins a national championship for Michigan, plays for Denver, wins a Super Bowl as a backup too.
And Tom Brady right behind them.
Yeah, exactly. And then my other running back, I played fullback and defensive back in high school. My other running back was Daniel Ferguson, who led Dade County in rushing and ends up being a Division I University of Miami, all-decade player actually for University of Miami as running back. And you look around the team, Mike Lowell played baseball for us when I was there before he transferred out to Coral Gables. Great guy, by the way, very smart guy, all AP classes.
Right.
Real brilliant dude. And then our star basketball player was a freshman by the name of Alex Rodriguez, who also played baseball, but left Columbus because he wanted to play pitcher, and they were insisting he played shortstop.
Yeah, and I think Brother Herb was the coach there.
Brother Herb.
And the story. This is what the story goes like this. It says, why don't you try playing ping pong?
Really?
Because I don't know if you know that story.
No, so he shut him down, huh?
He shut him down. Why don't you try playing ping pong? Because you'll never make it as a ball player. And let's fast forward. I think Brother Herb received every year he would receive a ping pong table after Alex.
Well, I got nothing but love for Alex, as you know. He's a big supporter of University of Miami.
Yes,
and a true Miami guy. So and it's funny. I can relate maybe to what Alex went through talking about the Rudy story, because one of the things that I heard frequently growing up in Dade County, and I was a football player and a track athlete. You can imagine being a 5'9", 5'10" white guy in Dade County. There's a lot of people who told me maybe I should play ping pong, right? So I used that as motivation. That was for me. Every time somebody told me I couldn't do it, made me work a little bit harder than gym, made me push a little bit harder out on the field to try to get faster, to try to get stronger. And you know, I ended up playing ball at University of Miami. And
how was that? Did you just were you awarded a scholarship, or did you just walk on?
So here's what's interesting. I had scholarship offers to other schools around the country, like Tulane University, Boston University, Western Michigan, Naval Academy, and some of those pretty decent programs. And Duke actually was the one I was leaning towards. But a guy by the name of Ed Orgeron, who everybody knows now as the LSU coach, talked to me. And I had known Ed for several years. Coach O, as we called him, knew me from when I was in high school and used to go to football camps. It's kind of a funny story, but he's got that strong Cajun accent. And he used to call me Billy. It was a sure point. Like, it didn't even ever know my name, right? But my last name is Fealy. And I guess he had heard Billy when I was like a freshman in high school. So for several years, including after I went to UM, he'd be like, Billy, come on over here. You get here, Billy. You get into play, right? And I actually it was funny. My sophomore year was at UM. One of the other coaches said, why are you calling him Billy? His name's Paris. And Coach O looked almost hurt and turned around and said, I've known him since he was this high. Your name's Billy, right? I said, Coach, I'm just happy you call me anything, dude. You call me Billy. That's fine. It's Paris Fealy, but Billy's good for me. But yeah, so what happened with UM was kind of interesting. I had decent academics, and I got an ROTC scholarship to University of Miami.
Okay.
And at UM, the ROTC scholarship, Army ROTC scholarship, paid 80%. Coach O and Dennis Erickson was head coach at the time, also knew me, pulled some strings, and I got to manage the other 20% was covered by University of Miami. So I was I think they call it a preferred walk-on or whatever they call it. They put me through the ringer, though, same deal. In order to make the team, it was an early Saturday morning tryout. 100 of us tried out. And the way they try you out is they take all your measurements, they make you do the 40 and all that stuff. But then here's the real killer. You ran 15 100-meter sprints with 30 seconds between each sprint. And they had a very specific time you had to make it in under each of those sprints. By the time you're done, at least half the 100 can't even make those sprints. Like they're on the side throwing up and dying. I was really proud that year. I was one of only 5 of that 100 that actually made the team. And of those 5, I was the only skilled player that made it. We had 2 quarterbacks. They always take quarterbacks because they want extra arms to throw balls during practice. And the other 2 guys were kickers. Same idea. You have punters who kick the ball for special teamers. So for me, they put me down defensive back. Wasn't big enough anymore to play running back. The running backs at the U at that time, we had Donnell Bennett. You know, Donnell, 6'2". Had a great career at Kansas City. Is actually a coach down here now, up in Broward, high school coach. Really great guy. But he was one of our running backs. Then, of course, I mentioned Daniel Ferguson was out there. And those guys are all over 6 foot tall and a couple 100 pounds. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get a couple 100 pounds until I was a long time out of football. It wasn't the kind of weight you wanted, right? I'm on your protocol. So starting to work, starting to go down, Tony. Thank you for that.
Awesome.
But yeah, man. So they put me a defensive back. I did some kick return, special teams, and pretty much the life of a walk-on is wherever they need you to be, you play. So I remember, playing the position of work done one year as the scout team, because I was quick. The one thing that I always had going for me was I ran a 4.40, right? And by the way, in high school, that was great. You're always the fastest guy on your team. Oh, of course. University of Miami, not so much. UM 4.4, you're like, okay, you're good, but it's not like anything big. We had guys like, Alfred Shipman.
I remember Alfred Shipman. Oh, yeah. But he was a lineman.
So, no. Al Shipman, number 32, he was a running back / receiver.
Oh, okay. But
nice build. That dude probably ran at least a 4.3. That's completely fast. And then
big guy, too.
Yeah, he was very thick. And then you speak of big guys. I'm sorry, I kind of ramble on this stuff, but it's all kind of coming in. Warren Sapp, of course, was on my team, right? Mean dude, completely mean. Whatever you heard is probably true. All right. But he was 6 feet tall, and I don't know what they list him at, but he was 6 feet tall and at least 300 pounds. Couple stories about him. He could slam dunk a basketball at that weight and height. Incredible athlete. Probably could have been the best player at any position he wanted, depending on how he let his body go. But at 300 pounds, he ran a 4.6.
That's amazing.
Is that insane?
It is insane.
And by the way, for those y'all remember, I saw him when he played at Tampa for the
Right,
Buccaneers.
I remember.
Chase down Jerry Rice from behind.
Mhm.
So it wasn't a fluke like he just had one good day where he ran a 4.6.
Uh.
That dude was fast and scary.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember you sharing some stories with me that guy is very scary,
He's a
very
beast,
mean,
man. He's a beast.
and what you see is what you get
Yeah.
with Warren Sapp. So, all right. So you played from 92 to what, 96, 95?
So I blew my knee out junior year in spring football in
Right.
95.
Okay.
So I wasn't there for my final season,
Those-
but I had 3 years in a row.
Right. I remember those years, Nick. I don't know if you remember those years at UM, but they had exceptional players. I mean,
Yes, they did.
they were, those are the years I think they had the most recruits to the NFL, or the most,
Early 90s. It was like
yeah.
Amazing.
Lamar Thomas,
Yeah.
Ray Lewis,
Williams, Phillips.
Warren Sapp, Ray Lewis, all these guys.
And some guys you don't even think about anymore, but they were big deals for us. Kennard Lang.
Oh,
great
absolutely.
defensive lineman.
Yes.
Our entire linebacking crew.
Yeah. And I think that they that whole group of guys, amazing how good they were. And they went on to be great athletes, and a lot of them played in the NFL.
Sure.
But you never won a championship.
No, sir. Thank you for reminding me
I'm
of that.
sorry.
We're
I'm sorry, but
I remember the Bama game.
yes, sir.
It surprised me because
Yeah.
I was younger, obviously, but Bama, like, to me, came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I remember everyone in the country talking about how fast Miami is, but
Yeah.
Bama would look fast.
So,
Lamar Thomas play we mentioned earlier.
yeah,
Like,
the George Teague play.
oh, there you go. That play.
Yeah. But you know what? And that was the key. And I guess that's true of a lot of football games. But on that particular day, Alabama outplayed us.
Right.
I still say we were a better team. And you can look back at UM history. I think we were a better team than Penn State when we played them in the Fiesta Bowl that year. I know we were a better team than Ohio State when 2002 team played them.
Oh, that I'm not a
it's
UM
insane.
guy, but that game pisses me off.
As does it
Pisses
me
off.
and everybody else who loves the game.
Especially being a DB, it's like
Yeah.
that guy.
Not right. But the reality
I'll
is,
defend you. I'm on that play.
thank you, sir. The reality is, on that particular day, they outplayed us, and there was a couple of plays in that game that changed it. Of course, the most famous is the George Teague play.
Right.
For those of you who don't remember the George Teague play, Lamar Thomas caught the ball and looks like he's running for a touchdown. George Teague, who ended up being a first-round pick by the Green Bay Packers, defensive back, runs up behind Lamar, grabs his arm in such a way that he twists the arm back and takes the ball right away from Lamar Thomas and runs it back the other way himself. They say that play is probably one of the most influential plays in any college game that's ever happened, not just for the fact it changed the tone of a national championship game, but it actually flip-flopped the positions that those two players went in the NFL draft. Lamar Thomas was predicted to be a first-rounder, ended up being a second-rounder, and had a great career. And George Teague was predicted to be a second-rounder, ended up becoming a first-rounder, probably just on that play alone.
That's
Pretty amazing.
Yeah,
that's and so you were there in 92, 93.
So 93, our Fiesta Bowl was in 94.
Right,
from that season.
right, 94.
Yeah.
Right, you were a sophomore.
Yes, sir. And that season we played against the Arizona Cardinals, Arizona Wildcats in the Fiesta Bowl.
University of Arizona, right?
Yeah, 29-0. We lost that one.
I remember that one.
I remember a couple stories on that particular one. Is Coach Erickson didn't even talk to us at halftime. Like he just let the seniors kind of yell at us. We were doing so poorly. I don't think we ever got past the 50-yard line. And their defense was nasty. They had Ted Brucey.
Right.
They called it the Desert Swarm defense. Yeah. And we just didn't play real well. Frank Costa was our quarterback.
Yeah.
We had changed.
Yeah.
Gino Toretta was my quarterback my freshman year, won the Heisman.
I remember him.
We went to Frank Costa the following year, which was a significant drop-off in terms of stats and performance, obviously. Great guy, but, we didn't succeed quite as much. One kind of funny story on that particular year was before the Fiesta Bowl, when we were still practicing back at the U, one of my teammates, a guy by the name of Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, yeah, I remember Dwayne.
Rock, right?
I remember Dwayne.
Everybody was talking about what they were going to do after football was over, right? And Dwayne, of course, came from a wrestling background, a wrestling family, and even brought up, well, if I don't go pro, I'm probably going to go in the family business, which is wrestling. And I remember people teasing him and saying to him, "Oh, you're going to be wearing tights. It's going to be crazy, Dwayne, whatever, man." And Dwayne back at the time had like a fade. So he looked a little bit different than he does now, right? And what's crazy is he's actually the only one of us that looks better today than he did 25 years ago.
He's on a protocol.
You know, yeah, he is. I would say probably. The reality of it is everybody started teasing him. And then, of course, he had the last laugh on that. I think I heard he got into wrestling and did some acting or something after that. But
yeah,
I think he's done.
I think he's done well.
He's been okay. By the way, great guy. He's actually an awesome dude. So
yeah, he is what he perceives to be.
He is, and he's not cocky or arrogant when he comes back in. He's always friendly. I would say there's a couple guys that I really stand out of people I really strongly respect, and a bunch of them. Those guys are my friends, obviously, right? But Dwayne was a great guy, and the other guy you might have heard is Twan Russell. Twan Russell was a linebacker for us. Later on, played for the Dolphins.
Yeah,
and I think to this day, so he coaches at St. Thomas Aquinas now. Give him back he played at St. Thomas in high school. Give him back to the kids, right? But the other thing is, I think he has a position within the Dolphins where he's like community relations liaison. But
great guy,
really awesome guy. So I really respect him a lot.
Terrific.
Well, so.
When did you have your injury? The junior year?
Junior year. Yeah, junior year spring football. So in college, and I guess in South Florida here, we have spring football. Not everywhere in the country, but what happens is you have the fall, which is the regular season, and then after regular season, you start working out and training. But then you have spring and spring football for University of Miami. We started practicing, say March, and went into April. And I was on a coverage drill, and it was a quick out, and I planted, came down. I had done it 1,000 times before, and when it came down, popped my ACL, and that was it.
That was it. That was the end of
What year was that?
So that would be going into 95, I guess. 95.
So back then, that's a career-ending injury.
You know what? It was a lot different than it is today. I hear these guys now. Coach Derek King right now is going to be back for fall. He just blew himself out at the end of the last season. For us, it would be at least a year. You know.
Yeah, I tore mine in 2010.
Okay.
And maybe 5 months I was ready.
That's amazing.
My season wasn't there yet, so I prolonged my therapy just to get it stronger, but I never wore a knee brace or anything.
Yeah. See, that's amazing. And by the way, even 10 years before me, those guys, they had the huge zippers and they had to reconstruct everything. Mine, when they did this, and it's only like a 2-inch little cut in the whole deal, and I was able to play again, that was amazing. So it's wild how the technology has improved.
So you didn't play your senior year?
No, sir. No, I did not. But again, the experience was there, and I never regret any of it. I went back and got my MBA at UM as well, so they still welcome me back. And
so let's talk about what you're doing today.
All right.
So so you guys, the Fealy brothers, there's 3 brothers, right?
With 4 of us, actually, yeah.
3 brothers, one sister, or 4 brothers.
4 brothers, and we have 2 sisters.
Oh, and 2 sisters.
Yeah, we're Irish Catholic, man. That's
awesome. That's great. So I know that yourself, Kevin, also, right?
Yep.
Kevin Fealy.
Who's also on your protocol.
Oh, who's
you got us all.
Dustin.
Yep.
Dustin.
Yep.
And by the way, Dustin has a hell of a show, WQAM, the Dustin Fealy Show. Real estate, Miami, little sports, little Tony Bosch. No. I got to get you on that show. We'll do a little Nick Turnbull. You guys originated with it, or you guys started your careers in the bed industry, right? In the mattress industry.
Yes,
okay, can you tell us how that occurred?
So accidentally, in my case, my older brother Kevin was the first of us in the business. He was one of the founders of Mattress Giant, which Mattress Giant became a very large retailer of mattresses. A few years ago, was bought out by Mattress Firm, but at one time had 300 stores across the country selling mattresses and promoting sleep. My brother Dustin then got involved into it. And then I was a school teacher initially. But as a school teacher, and I loved it, but I'm Irish Catholic. I have a lot of kids. I kept running out of money before I ran out a month. So I complained to my brothers and said, "Hey, man, I got to figure something out." And they're like, you get all this education, you stupid. Come work with us. You'll enjoy the mattress business, see what you think. And one summer went to work in one of the stores and really enjoyed interacting with the public. Always looked at myself as, instead of being sales, more a beducator.
Beducator. I like
people about beds.
I like that.
Decided I'd take a year off from teaching, and it turned into a 25-year career.
That's great.
And through the years, I've worked for CERTA. I worked for Fealy, so some of the major manufacturers.
Top executive up there, right?
Yes, sir. As a vice president with.
So I respect, I respect Paris's knowledge of mattresses and beds so much that we've been working on a athletic performance bed for a little bit now, and we're almost ready to roll it out. So when I wanted to do this, I said, well, I need to find the best, and we have here the he's definitely not the Rudy of the mattresses industry. No, he's a Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Not the LeBron, the Michael Jordan.
Yes. Thank you for that clarification.
Because he's better. He's the MJ of the mattress industry. And so, one thing that I want to share with you guys that Paris already knows is sleeping is about performance. The better the sleep, the deeper the sleep, the better the body rejuvenates. There's cellular regeneration. Matter of fact, you're refueling your body while you're sleeping. If you're a young athlete, it's extremely important to sleep, because that's really how you grow.
Correct.
And you grow in muscle, you grow in stature. Growth factors come into play there. Matter of fact, testosterone is reproduced at night while you're sleeping. So it's almost like refueling yourself, right? And so much so that back in the day, back in the biogenesis days, when I dealt with these athletes, one of the things that interestingly enough, that I would do is I would put these athletes where the head would be a little higher, the feet would be a little higher, right above the heart. Right. So now you got better circulation, and actually I would IV them and administrate whatever I was going to administrate at that time in that position. Interesting, right? So, and the theory behind the whole thing was it was better circulation, increased oxygenation of the red blood cells, which means higher hematocrits at that time. Nitric oxide shoots up. All right. Now you could deliver the medicine a lot quicker, and the efficacy was 100%. It was always there. And of course, back in the day, we didn't have these fancy mattresses. They had no idea, so they weren't prepared with fancy mattresses, right? And so we had to deal with whatever we had to deal with. Pillows on the head, pillows on the foot. So in speaking with Paris, I said, man, if we would have a bed that would can put someone at this angle, and he said, oh yeah, there's the 0G or zero gravity beds that actually NASA was the one that created it. And we could do it. And what you get is basically what you call 120-degree angle. And if you really look at it, when your feet are propped up like that in the air and your head is propped up in there, it's almost like zero gravity.
It's funny. Right? I lay like that on the couch.
Is that how you do it?
I put my head on one armrest and my feet on the other armrest.
Right.
Same thing, same concept.
Interesting. And you were saying a story on the way here that, hey, if you've ever played Pop Warner football, if you've played any type of football, the coach would tell you what, hey, after you were like out of gas or whatever, after a play or after a few set of downs, he would pull you over to the sideline and tell you, hey, lay down, put your feet up on the bench.
Especially at halftime. He'd have
or at halftime,
on our back,
right?
Put our legs up on the bench.
And so that's the idea. So we came together, and based on, physiological science and his expertise in the bedding industry, we came up with an athletic performance bed. And I think it's gonna be a hit. I've already been asked about it. And and we're about to roll it out. So that's something that I wanted to talk about. All right. I want to give Nick the first bet when it comes out.
All right. Okay? You're lucky man, Nick.
All right. So no, it's very important. Performance about everything. It's performance while you're sleeping. It's performance while you're at work. Sure. It's performance while you're sitting. It's performance how you deal with relationship, right? So your relationships, so emotional performance, cognitive performance, performance in the bedroom, performance in the golf course, which we're all. Well, you guys are retired athletes. I'm I'm a pretend athlete. But anyway, but we still have the athlete within,
right.
And I still try to play golf, and it's very important how we rejuvenate ourselves. And one of the ways is sleep. And the interesting part about this bed is that it takes you to a stage 3 non-REM or REM sleep, because everybody talks about REM sleep, right? And there's REM sleep and non-REM sleep, and very few people have that non-REM sleep because that's your deepest sleep,
right?
And you'd be surprised how many people that I've heard, or they still come to me and said, "Listen, this is great. I'm strong. I'm big. I'm chiseled. I got 8% body fat or whatever. I can't sleep." So that's part of it. And sleep is so important.
It's crucial, Tony. And there's 5 stages of sleep. And you're right. Here's the reality. If you don't get to all those stages of sleep throughout the night, let's say you toss and turn, you're not supported the right way, pressure points or whatever in your mattress causing you that, you can lay in bed for 12 hours and still wake up not rested. And a lot of people suffer from that. They say, hey, you know what? It's not just about how many hours you're in bed. They always argue about you need 6 to 8 hours sleep or maybe more. It's about the quality as much as the quantity. And to your point, athleticism, most elite athletes understand performance is based on recovery. It's what it is.
That's it.
And sleep is the key to recovery.
Absolutely. And I've always preached that. You're absolutely right.
Wait, I'm excited about doing this with you, by the way, because you're passionate about performance enhancement.
Absolutely.
And performance.
Absolutely. Just human performance.
You are.
We're young, we have a life to live, and we want to do it at a very high performance level, right? Quality of life. And this is important. And this is great for me professionally, because I started with the body, and so that's when when you're awake. And then, a few years ago, I brought in mind and body connection, and now we're talking about refueling that mind and body while you're sleeping. But I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you,
Nick. Thank you for the input.
Always.
Okay, this is the last time I'm going to be between 2 defensive backs. Thank God I made it through this one. Thank you. I'll see you next time.